fellow countrymen and women, these are our ministers and permanent secretaries at the front bench, representing the various ministries and answering the questions that matter to us. Join the conversation. This is the front bench.
This is the front bench, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in to UBC TV. I am Jethro Kasaiji. Our topic tonight, we are looking at funding the future. Can local government drive a real development in Uganda? We shall also be talking a lot more about parish development model. I do have the national coordinator for the PDM, Honorable Dennis Galabuzi Ssozi. He will be answering most of your questions. PS, thank you so much for sparing time. The Ministry of Local Government has a lot of work to do, but we do have very many Ugandans out there, PS, who do not really understand your mandate. Kindly describe to us, tell us, what is your mandate as the Ministry of Local Government?
Yeah, thank you very much for this opportunity. First and foremost, I wish to tell viewers that Ministry of Local Government, as mandated under Section 105 of the Local Government Act Cap 138, is responsible for guiding, coordinating, inspecting, monitoring, for ensuring the high performance standards at the local government level, but also for compliance and adherence to the national policies and laws. When we talk about the local governments, we are talking about 135 districts, 10 cities. We're excluding Kampala City Authority because that would be the 11th. We're talking about 1,487 sub-counties, 589 town councils, 85 municipal divisions, 20 city divisions, 10,716 parishes, but of course what we are now funding under PDM is 10,589 and 71,202 villages. Now that's a big scope. So every day we are making sure that the people of Uganda in the various units, as explained, are getting services. I wish to inform viewers that the biggest reform, among the biggest reforms that were made in 1987, was bringing in decentralization, which empowered local governments to operate as sub-national units with mandates under the law to take decisions on matters affecting the people in their jurisdiction. Over the period, we have built a strong mass of local leaders who are supposed to receive guidance, to receive policy, to receive policies, and determine how these resources are allocated to serve the people of Uganda. And I wish to report that out there, we have 45,000 members, leaders at LOC 5, LOC 3, and we have 800,000 members of the executives at the village and parish. That shows that we have leaders everywhere, and actually every 1 million people, we have 45 leaders. So this is a very big mass. So if you are talking about emancipation, democratization, popular participation, Uganda stands very high, having empowered its population to participate in decision making. When decentralization was launched, originally the issue was about governance. But later we agreed in 2006 that local economic development is key, so that decisions made are meant to make sure that developments are done to serve the people of Uganda. And as we go down into the explanation of the things we are doing, you will see that local governments have participated in a number of programs and a number of development projects to make sure that the people of Uganda are served. There are very many areas where local government entered 20 years down the road, and one of them is construction of community access roads with gravel. Originally, community access roads were seen as sub-county roads and they did not have to be gravelled. But over the time, we ventured there, and now we can really boast of 70,000 kilometers of access roads that we have been able to construct over the last 20 to 25 years. So these ones have been done as long as resources are given to local governments. Local governments using their structures have been able to take decisions, allocate resources, supervise construction to ensure that community access roads have been paved, have been maintained, and have been able to improve motorability and connectivity at the level of the population. So this is the wide mandate, but most important also, local governments supervise this professional staff in the local governments. I wish to report to viewers that in every local government, think about Maracha, think about Ndoroko, you'll find that in every local government, you'll find 9 heads of departments at the level of assistant commissioners. And these are the ones guiding the technical direction of all policies in the local governments. So there are people out there. And another important issue is that decision making can take place concurrently in Bulambuli at the same time in Bulisa, in Kabongo at the same time in Karangara, and in Amuru at the same time in Chisoro. You find businesses going on, DEC meetings, district executive committee meetings are taking place, budgets are being approved, ordinances are being approved, and all these are aimed at serving the people of Uganda. So it has been a journey, and really, we really appreciate that the people of Uganda were given an opportunity by this decentralization reform to take charge in decision making on matters that affect them and also in shaping their destiny. This has been an achievement over the period.
All right, Honorable, let me cue you in. The PS has talked about the wide mandate that they do have as a ministry. He has talked about the different structures that have been formulated to ensure that each Ugandan really gets to receive this service delivery that we are talking about. Let's talk about parish development model. I do understand that this really is in the local governments. What kind of development are we talking about in this case, Honorable?
Okay, I don't know actually where to start from, but thanks for that particular question. But I just want you to understand the concept,
please,
thoroughly and entirely. How did the PDM come up? Why PDM? Because I know that is a question in everyone's mind. And how comes it has performed probably better than most other programs, and all that we shall explain. But let's first go back to why PDM and how have we gotten to where we are. You know, His Excellency, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, is a very wise person. And he has been very proactive when it comes to serving the people. But he has always reminded us, and this is something that we really not need any reminder. He has always reminded us that leadership is very well defined logically. Leadership is, first of all, understanding people's problems. Where there are no problems, I don't think leadership would be necessary. Leadership is solving society's problems. You offer yourself into leadership to solve people's problems. So once you're a leader, you have to understand what the problems of the people are. And His Excellency has been telling us, from his student days, he has been looking at Uganda and Africa at large and trying to diagnose the problem of our people and then have a right prescription, thus get into leadership. Now, when we get down to what is the problem in Africa and problem in Uganda, it's about backwardness. It's about social inequalities, economic inequalities, lack of prosperity. Those are things that he has been telling us over and over again. Now, that is why in the ideology of the NRM and the ideology of the President's vision, there lies the issue. I mean, the issue of socio-economic transformation among the 4 pillars of our ideology, of the NRM ideology. That for our society to transform and become modern from the backwardness and have social and economic equality, or at least some bit of transparency, there should be socio-economic transformation. Now, how is that socio-economic transformation going to be delivered? Now, this is where PDM comes in, of course. I'm cutting the whole long story short. but I'm trying to tell you how PDM gets in. Now, good enough, in Uganda, policies, we are not short on good policies. We have very good policies. One of the very good policies, like the PS has told you, is the decentralization policy. Very, very robust. Because whose problems are we trying to solve? We are trying to solve the people's problems. Where are the people? The people are in the villages. The people are in households. So, how then do you deliver these services to better their livelihoods, to have equity in, socially and economically, to remove that backwardness, to get them into modernity? And when you say modernity, it is for them to produce, either produce a good or have a service that will get them into modernity. Modernity meaning increasing their incomes at the household level. So how are you going to do it using decentralization? How is decentralization structured? He has just told you. He has given you a very elaborate structure, right from the villages, the village councils, all the way up to the national level. Now, we didn't have to reinvent the wheel. We need to use those particular structures to get down to the people and to deliver these services. So what is PDM? PDM is basically saying all service sector, or the whole of service sector, the people, the sectors that deliver services, service delivery sectors, are going to now be epicentered at the parish, closest to the people, where the households are. Of course, why did we choose the parish and not the village? Because the village doesn't have those official structures. Okay? The last public servant, I think, if I'm not wrong, is the parish chief.
Yeah, true.
So we say the last mile administrative structure in our local government, in our decentralization system, is the parish, with the parish chief. So we coined it around, and the president said, coin it around the parish, and thus parish development model. The development is all encompassing, it's all across sectors. I'll give you a very good example. You know, if you're going to change people's fortunes and get them into the money economy, like they said of late, that is getting them into the modern world, I would say. Get them into the economic echelons of any modern society. You would first and foremost look at the factors of production, because the only way you can get them there and show that there is growth is looking at what they produce or a service they offer, in turn for some money, for some income. So you have to look at the factors of production. Now, PDM is centered around that. Look at the factors of production as they are now, and then deliver those services to enhance the production at the grassroots. You look at land, we are doing a lot about land. And you see, land is a very big factor of production. As much as it is finite, it is a very big factor of production. Then you look at labor. Labor, you have to look at the human resource, the human capital development. Are the people healthy? Are the people well educated so that they can have some entrepreneurial skills with them? And all those sorts of labor-related aspects. Then capital. Assets, you know, there are two types of capital. Monetary capital, that is the credit, in form of credit, and then the asset capital. Are things there, down there? Is machinery there to help on productivity? Is there electricity and transformers to help on processing? All that is also part of capital. But now that is where the biggest problem is. Because land is finite, labor probably very abundant. The only thing that will be left is to skill it, but the most important is capital. Now, once you look at that, cut across all those particular sectors that offer the services down at the parish, and thus we come up with the 7 pillars of the parish development model. Those ones, I will get into them later, but basically, that is the parish model, parish development model in a nutshell, and it falls very, very squarely well into the decentralization program and decentralization policy to enhance its activities and implementation up to the grassroots.
Honorable, before I bring in the PS, you did talk about functionality, the policies that we do have, how robust they are. But going to the grassroots, the president has put a lot of emphasis on PDM and very many other different programs, but PDM are taking center stage. Do you think this could be a final bullet for Ugandans to see that they really change what they do receive when it comes to the economy?
Basically, what you're asking me is what are we doing differently? I think that's what you're asking, because the president has been very consistent with his objectives. It is to make sure that the households improve their incomes and in a sustainable manner so that they get into the money economy. Remember, in 2013, he was talking about 68% of people who are below, who are in subsistence, who are existing subsistently. But it has kept on reducing with different interventions. The first one was OWC. Well, it wasn't the first one, but when the 68% figure was quoted, he introduced OWC because people complained that things don't reach. So he said, okay, fine. What do we need? Inputs for production? Let me use the soldiers to deliver those inputs. It's all about service delivery. It's all about how things are delivered to the final beneficiary. So that was done. It reduced. OWC did a very good, they did a very good job from 68 all the way up to 39%. Those are the statistics you boss gave us. But of course, there were still other small challenges here and there. And His Excellency noted them and said, well, we are not going to change the objective. We are not going to change the goal. Let us just change modus operandi. Let's change the approach. Mm-hmm. Now, the approach, instead of thinking from the top and bringing things down to the bottom, to the grassroots, having that top-bottom approach, we said, let's try out the bottom-top approach. In other words, community-driven. And if you're to ask the PS here, he will tell you right now in the decentralization policy, the concept behind decentralization is community-driven development.
Actually, that is why I wanted to ask him.
Yes, community-driven. It has to come from down going up. Now, when you look at the concept of PDM, everything starts with the parish. It is demand-driven. Everything is demand-driven. So when we look at the factors of production and what exactly the communities lack and the people down there lack, all of them will tell you, we could have gotten out of this poverty, but we lack capital. We lack capital, we lack incentives, we lack this, we lack that. So we try as much as possible to take it down to them directly without it going through so many channels. But it is demand-driven. If he wants to do cows for milk, he will demand it by requesting for money that he actually requires to do what he wants to do. So what government is doing is just helping them with capital. That is both credit and the grants that they give through the PRF, but also so many other things. Like I said, the asset capital, the electricity, with water for production, all that is capital. With warehousing, with processing facilities, with so many things that the PS will also tell you about. Among one of the projects that is under the ministry, what they do. So it is a whole of government approach to solving service delivery problems at the parish.
Okay. Yeah. Let me remind our viewer that we are actually also live on all our 11 radio stations, but also keep your questions coming in on 0709-602592. That's our WhatsApp number. Any question that you wish to ask the PS and the Honorable, they will answer your questions. PS, you did talk about the high performance that you're doing as the ministry in 135 districts, the 10 cities, but also focusing on the decentralization. We still do have citizens who are actually crying over poor service delivery in certain districts. So what are you doing as a ministry to ensure that the services that haven't reached to those areas actually get there on time? We still do have Ugandans who move from villages in the different districts thinking that Kampala city, that is where they will solve most of their problems. PS.
Yeah, thank you very much, viewers. In realization of the fact that Kampala city was being seen as the solution to all problems, the Ministry of Local Government led the process to create the 10 other cities. And these 10 other cities were regional, Arua, Gulu, Mbale, Mbarara, Fort Potro, and these were in the first place to provide the same opportunities that are available in Kampala. And I wish to mention that like the president guided the country many years back about emphasizing the tarmacking, the roads, emphasizing electricity and these other things. These towns, these cities are connected with tarmac. These cities are connected with electricity and other facilities, and therefore they are there to be able to help the people, let's say, of the southwestern region. They may need to Kampala, they can go to Mbarara, get what they want, and Mbarara can also get fed from Kampala, and the same would be Fort Potro, the same would be Lira, Mbale, Gulu, Jinja, and the rest of them. So this one was one of the ways to deal with that issue, that everybody should not look at Kampala as the solution for providing the required services for the population. So local government also links to other policies of government, like the policy, as I already mentioned, make sure the whole country is connected by tarmac, and therefore, as long as that connectivity is there, then all people are reached out. I've already mentioned about our intervention into the road construction very many years ago. I remember our first project that time was Southwestern, it used to be called SWARAP, rehabilitation program. The Ministry of Local Government was able to open a number of roads in the Southwestern, and this was followed by Chibale, Masindi, Chibale, Hoima project. It opened a number of roads. That was the next one was followed by the area-based agriculture modernization program. It was followed by community infrastructure program. And now we have had others like local economic growth support project. We have had the national oilseed project. So that's why I said that from that period that we started getting involved in opening community access roads and also making sure that they are graveled, that's why I said we are now boasting of having covered 70,000 kilometers of community access roads on the target which had been put at that time of opening the country with 100,000 community access roads. As you may see, you will find that we have reopened the country, and that has been able to increase service delivery to the population. But we have not only been able to deal with roads again only, but we have also been able to use local governments to receive government funding through projects like Uganda Intergovernmental Transfer Program, Gov'T, which has given funds for health centers, for secondary schools, and we have been able to use the local government system to do procurement, to do supervision, to do monitoring, working with the central government, and you can see a number of projects out there which have been put up by local governments as a system. Another issue I wanted to emphasize earlier is that this decentralization reform, which really one must of course appreciate, that this empowerment of the people of Uganda was one of the first reforms done in 1987 by this government, by the NRM government. And of course it was heavily supported and led by President Yoweri Museveni, picking from the resistance council system in Ruwero Triangle, has helped transform the Wananchi to a higher level, because originally the Wananchi were only involved in elections. But this one now gave them a chance not only to do elections, but to participate in making decisions that affect them. And that's why they participate in budgets, they participate in planning. When you announce resources, they allocate the resources, because they know better which area needs the bridge most than another one if they get money. Which roads need to be rehabilitated and maintained. So I would quickly say that this has helped to make sure that the people are served. I wish to point out, when you go into our law, it requires the, let's say, the executive committees in every local government to put a day to receive complaints and issues from the Wananchi. But also the councillors across, whom I mentioned that there are 45,000 councillors and leaders, they are supposed to pick a day to go to the Wananchi and be able to listen to their problems. I wish to report to viewers that there has been an observation that sometimes the leaders, like the district chairpersons and mayors, do not reach the people. Now the government has given them pickup vehicles to enable them to reach the people. That is the purpose. And we have actually issued guidelines that these vehicles are meant to facilitate the leaders at that level to go out the population and find out.
I remember you gave out 176 of them.
196. But earlier we had given 2,487 motorcycles to all LC3s. Again, in the spirit means that these leaders at LC3 level have no excuse on why they cannot go to the population to check out their issues, but also to check out on service delivery. So I wish to point out that really this system has helped, because it is able, it's like a tapping machinery. It is able to tap whatever resources are available, whatever policies are available, like the national coordinator, Honorable Galabuzi, is saying. If the government decides to design PDM, led by His Excellency the President, it finds a system already. Because I wish to inform the viewers that at every LC3 level, at every LC5 level, there is a committee and a member of the executive responsible for production issues.
Thank you.
For social services.
PS,
Yes.
we are going for a break, but also there are questions that are coming in that you will actually answer together with Honorable. Good evening. My concern is really on District Service Commission recruitment process, which has created uproar amongst the potential employees in the country due to corruption, nepotism. Is there any way the Public Service Commission can take over district service commissions? This is Okodel from Soroti. Keep your questions coming in, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to take a very short commercial break. When we do return, we shall answer most of your questions. Don't go away.
And fellow countrymen and women, these are our ministers and permanent secretaries at the front bench, representing the various ministries and answering the questions that matter to us. Join the conversation. This is the front bench.
Juko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Amaina gange ndi namaganda Mariamu Monda myoga jaida emyoga igitandika okwida nafunamu esente bampa yakakayira ke sente bwe bampa akakayira ke sente nayiye ekyokukola nasookera ku mutiere omutiere gwapanga beeyi naguvwako nanoonya omwana twagedaga n'amagezi nagema esente edo namuga yaje yagula supeya ow'ebyuma muno pikipiki ne obugaali buti saa eno ndi kuyiya okuleeta ebyuma ebimala ku bwena abakabiri bampaireyo ku esente nakuba okunoonya y'abaana babeegeresenga gano okukanika ki pikipiki era bali kujja mpolampola nga bakanika era esente bwe tunaaba tudifuna nenda kwongera mu maani mu sente bwenaaba ndifunye twongeremu ntewo bizinensi emala nenda okwebaza gavumenti egiira okutulowoozaako niife abaagansi mu kyalo okufuna esente kuba twalinga n'esente nga tulumukira mu banka bugiri buti baida ku numba ng'eno najjayo ku bwe baida ku numba baida kutaa ku bigandiiko aye dino tutwalayo mpolampola nenda okwebaza gavumenti olw'okulowooza ku nsonga eyo mukama abawa omukisa.
Our program of poverty eradication is a must. We want everybody to be involved.
Through the parish development model, Ugandans are starting small but impactful projects to improve their livelihoods.
When we give 1 million, we know it's not enough to do many things, but it's a starting point.
I'm a PDM beneficiary, a farmer. Your Excellency, I was given 1 million Uganda shillings from Kobil Kawo PDM Sacco. Your Excellency, I got 20 bunches from my small piece of land sold, got 400,000, put in the PDM farm, Your Excellency, in the PDM money, Your Excellency, I bought a cow of 1,400,000.
In 1 year, 100 families in the parish get. In 5 years, 500 families would have got.
We were the first people to receive money from Nakapiriprit. I received $1 million. I rented 4 acres of land and I was able to harvest 14 bags.
So really this 1 million is enabling somebody to start something. Yes, and we don't want to give too much money to one person because we have got very many people to cover.
The parish development model empowers the people, focusing on lifting up the masses and creating opportunities that ensure prosperity for all. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance.
Juko.
Yo.
Wachikuwa. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model, PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sevatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better.
PDM, my parish, my development, my life. Fellow countrymen and women, these are our ministers and permanent secretaries at the front bench, representing the various ministries and answering the questions that matter to us. Join the conversation. This is the front bench.
This is the front bench, ladies and gentlemen. Your questions, we've been going through some of them. Most of them are interesting, and my guests did promise that they will actually answer most of them. So keep them coming. We shall spare some, the last 10 minutes or so, to see that we tackle them. Honorable, PDM is implemented in 3 phases. There is establishment, stabilization, but also acceleration. But that takes me to how you are ensuring that PDM doesn't really become another revolving fund program. Many programs seem to have collapsed, but government is still investing in a lot of money into them to ensure that youths and Ugandans keep benefiting from them.
Yeah, first of all, like I told you earlier, it has a different approach. We are approaching this differently, but also we are approaching it with the whole of government. You see, everything, if you're going to deliver services, where are you going to deliver them? You're going to deliver them at the parish. That's where everything is. That's where the people live. And that's where the households are. Because our target is households. Now, how is it different and how is it not going to be the same as other programs? I also told you earlier that the objectives of all these programs that have come been the same. Start with Ntandikwa by Chisamba Mugerwa. It was to uplift people's livelihoods, isn't it?
Yes.
Ntandikwa, by giving them Ntandikwa. And Ntandikwa was in form of many things. Through material, implements, materials, there were tractors, there were seedlings, there were seeds themselves. It was basically Ntandikwa and some little money. Then we went to plan for modernization of agriculture, where we were now improving on agricultural practices and all these kinds of things. But everything was geared towards improving livelihoods through increased incomes and not working for the stomach only. That has always been the objective. The approach is what is different, like I've said, and I will emphasize it. You know, like I said, earlier again that problems, society's problems have to be identified by leaders. Get a proper diagnosis and then a prescription. I like answering questions with examples. One time I remember I was doing a campaign in 2015, 2016. And during my campaign, someone told me that, Honorable, the easiest way to get to people and to talk about the matters that you are talking about is to go and visit them when they have their, you know, in every village there are small groups, savings groups. They are called Village Savings and Loan Associations, VSLAs. In Uganda we call them Niginas. Those small groups with their small boxes. So they told me that you will find them there seated. And as a leader, since you want to be a leader, you listen to what they are talking about, how they are trying to solve their own problems, and then probably see how to help and you know, catalyze their progress. So I went to one of them, and you know, it was very interesting that every village in the whole country, every village, you will not fail to find one or two VSLs sitting, usually made up of women and a few men. So I went to one of them, and I just sat. And of course, before I could speak, they asked me to be a member. And you know what it means to be a member? To be a member is that you have to pay subscription. That I promptly did. And I said, let me just sit in and listen. So I sat and listened. And very interesting things started unveiling themselves. One, these people were very committed to getting out of poverty. They were saving religiously. They were borrowing and repaying religiously, and I witnessed it. But what struck me the most is how they were able to sustain that concept, that system that they were using. And I got intrigued, and I felt I should know how they do it. And a few examples came up. They do things democratically. Once they sit, they have a box. That box has two keys, two padlocks. One padlock is with one key of the padlock is with the chairman. The other key is with the treasurer. Some of them even have three, where the secretary also has what? A padlock. The day they come to talk about their issues, those keys and those members have to be there. So in most cases, in that day, people had brought back money, people were repaying, others were borrowing, and they do it democratically, like I said. They throw papers and see who is getting next and that kind of thing. They have a very interesting system. Now, something very interesting again happened that day. One of the fellows who was supposed to bring back money so that the next person gets, started talking with started talking funnily and, you know, cutting
disappeared with the money.
Yes. He came and started telling lies that he hadn't received any money and he hadn't brought back money, that they should give him more time. But you see, the beauty about it is that the person who was getting next was aggrieved. And it was actually a lady. She had already tried as much as possible to find out whether this person who is going to bring back so that she gets is actually doing the right thing. So that way, she was monitoring. So a member was monitoring a fellow member. And when of course it said lying, they reprimanded him, and somehow the defense grabbed him and they took him to the whatever, they sold some of the piglets, and immediately there's always someone willing to buy those piglets. So they brought back the money and the next person was supposed to get. But something intrigued me again. That I looked at that small box. When they opened it, there was like 700,000 shillings. And these were 30 members. I said, how? The woman who was next to me, I asked her, how is this going to help you? He said, now you boys from Chibuga, I only borrowed 200,000 shillings and it has educated my children, some of them at university. Me, I just need half a box of tomatoes to go to the what? To the market. So I am waiting to get my chance because I paid some fees. Now I just need to borrow some more and I go. With 700,000 in the box, there were like 6 members waiting And the money was not enough. So I asked the lady, when are you going to get? She was going to get in 6 months. Then I asked, how can I help? Now that's when I came in to help. When I asked how I can help, she said, you ask the treasurer. So when I asked the treasurer said, for all of them to get, if you just add, he made the calculation and said, there is 700,000 in the box. If you just add 1 million shillings, it will become 1.7 and all these people will get. And we are going to select those people there and then. And those who are supposed to bring back come, and then that's when we shall also get more new members. Because the members will come in if they know there is money. We shall be able to recruit more. Munanga had gone with some little money.
You had to put in their box.
I had to put in their box. I put in that box and all of them got. Now I want you to look at the parish development model that way. That it is a group of many enterprises, many people are on the ground, they cannot save enough so that all of them move faster. So government is just putting a grant, that 1 million I put in, a grant, it's not going back to the government, but it is going to their box, that small box of theirs, that vote, that circle, for them to revolve that money. Now, the beauty about it that you're talking about, the difference between this program and others, is that the members themselves, we are encouraging the members themselves to do what the other woman did, to monitor.
Honorable, are you saying
members.
that the current PDM guidelines are flexible enough to adapt to the local realities now?
Oh yes, and we are designing them according to the realities. Like I told you, it is community driven. We get feedback from them. Even where they say there is extortion, you've heard the president say, who are those extorting? It's no longer the local government people and the local government staff. It's no longer PS's staff down there. No, because the staff of government are not involved at all in the transactions. They only regulate and give guidance where possible. But everything is done by the SACCO members. So he has always asked them, who are those who are extorting? And it happens to be members that they have democratically elected.
Within the SACCO.
And guess what? We have a remedy for that. Every year there is an AGM. But what precedes the AGM is an audit. Now, if they see there is extortion and there are problems amongst the people, at the AGM every year, you can change leadership. And that is the way you will get the best leaders, because this money is theirs.
Okay, thank you, Honorable. PS, let's talk about client focus, part of your core values. You did talk about decentralization, you did talk about the 10 cities and the 135 districts. Do you want to confirm to the nation that whatever is in Kampala, though it is not added on the other districts, right? The other cities, if what is in Kampala, is it also in Mbarara? Is it also in Mbale? Is it also in Soroti? We are talking in terms of service delivery.
Thank you very much. Viewers, I already mentioned that the way the structure is in every local government, you could say 176, because we have 135 districts, 10 cities and 31 municipalities. Their structures are the same. There is political leadership, the chairpersons and mayors. Each chairperson of a district or each mayor of a city or each mayor of a municipality has an executive of 5 people. They are full-time. And these are people who have been elected in council, and they are people who are the mandate by the electorate. And then there are the heads of departments. I already mentioned that in each district, as I talk now, in Karenga, in Omoro, in Toroko, there is a structure of 9 heads of departments who are the rank of assistant commissioner. Same rank, same qualifications, same experience like those we have in the center. And then below them are a number of professionals. So these people are the same, and they are supposed to serve the same people with the same policies. I already mentioned that one of our biggest mandates, and this is what I should emphasize to the viewers, is that our job is to ensure compliance and adherence to policies and regulations. And every day we receive, actually, complaints, we receive concerns, we receive observations, and we act. We act through instructions, we act through directives, we act through policy direction and guidance. So I wish to confirm that the only challenge has been that sometimes, because of being remote, because we are far in Kampala here, information doesn't reach to us. But once information reaches to us that there is a problem in Burambuli, or there is a problem in Kamwenje, or there is a problem in Busia, we come in and we deal with that issue and we sort it out. We can do it by giving instructions in writing, but we can also do it by sending teams on ground, and these teams can give guidance because we have a structure there that would receive the guidance. So I wish to assure that the integrity, the ESCO, the professional tenets of a system or a body politic are really high operational in our system. And as a ministry, we endeavor to make sure we deal with those issues. And I would confirm that personally, I received telephone calls, I gave my lines open, I received them. I told them I should receive them up to 10 p.m. And then that means anytime I get a response, a question coming from anywhere, I have enough. For example, I have 50 inspectors who are ready, resources available to move to any local government to deal with the matter if there is an issue to deal with. And this matter, as I mentioned, we can give guidance on ground, we can give instructions on ground, and we can cause any change that is a breach of law or a breach of policy, once we are aware of the problem.
All right, thank you, PS.
Before you get into the questions, there's something that I hadn't yet finished answering, that you asked that do guidelines change? Yes. Like recently, we have noticed as we go on the ground that there are challenges, different challenges that are peculiar to different places. Like the urban place, the cities and the urban and peri-urban areas. The population is intense. It's it's big. It's a very densely populated area. So His Excellency has guided and he has instructed us to find a formula that where we are going to give these urban areas 300 million shillings per parish. And this came up when we were in Kasokoso, because Kasokoso is really very heavily and densely populated. So we are working that out now, and it may not be 100 million shillings as usual. We are going to make sure that depending on what the demand on the ground is, that is what we go with. Going by the concept that it is demand driven and it's a bottom-up approach.
All right, maybe you'll also talk about why Karamoja has so far received about 95.3%. I was looking at your graph as of October 2025. PDM, the other 18 regions were actually doing good, approximately about 98%, but Karamoja is still about 95.3%.
Yes, Karamoja, there is a peculiar issue in Karamoja. For example, in the district, his district of Karenga. Karenga is mainly park. So we did everything pro rata, where we are giving 100 million shillings per parish. But in the park, you'll find like 2 home households. So most of that money, there are particular parishes in Karenga, and I think some part of Kabong, where we exhausted the households. Because they're not there, it's a park. And that, of course, now money is on the accounts, and we are going to find a way of redistributing it.
Some questions here. This is Brighton in Kumumanya. How about if government adopts funding projects instead of hard cash transfers? Because out of 10 beneficiaries, 3 out the money to the right and property use. Most of them divert to other costs of living. Honorable, I think that is yours.
Yeah.
Please, you can take that away.
Yeah, that one, you know, I'm an engineer by profession, but I love development economics, and I've done some bit of economics, at least by reading and out of experience, occupational experience. You know, there is a gentleman, an economist called Maynard Keynes, talked about the concept of recirculation of money. Whenever there is scarcity of money among the population, then demand also becomes a bit of a problem. There are so many things we are doing in this country. And whenever we recirculate this money and money goes back, those who put it to their household income enhancement do so. Those who don't, someone else benefits from it. And it stays within that locality, thus boosting the circulation of the monetary circulation in that particular area. That shouldn't worry him so much. I noticed you mentioned he's an economist. I don't want to explain that much. But if he's an economist, let him go back to the Keynesian theories, and then he will understand why we do that.
Good evening. I'm from West Nile. May I know why some groups are not getting PDM? And there is a scenario where some group of people were sent the message in their mobile phones to wait after 48 hours, some 5 months ago, but up to now they have failed to receive their PDM money. But the CDO and the parish chief is still telling them to wait up to when. So they need some assistance. This is West Nile, someone from West Nile.
Yes, that issue comes up because when they are selecting people who are going to benefit, they can end up selecting 100 because they know 100 people are going to receive this financial year. But when we release money, we release 50 million. So you receive a prompted, it's a prompt, it's a message. You receive that you are among the selected beneficiaries.
Okay.
But you getting the actual money, you have to wait for it to land on the phone, depending on how much we have released. For example, tomorrow, this week, we are releasing 50 million shillings per parish. We are releasing 500 billion. Minister of Finance is sending it to the SACCOs. Now, if that is going to benefit 50 people, 50 households per parish, if the money is available and Ramadan Gov'T and Minister of Finance or the President decides to send another 500 billion, then another 50 will get.
Okay.
So that is how it is done. But the selection, for them to get those messages, it's because they've been selected. The selection process is also digital. We have digitized the selection process, whereby if members are selected, the list is done and it is digitized. So members out there and beneficiaries, our populace, our people, please be patient. We are very meticulous when we are doing these things. We have decided to digitize everything. So that message you receive is a message that you've been selected and that we know that you're supposed to get this money. Until that money is released onto your phone, be patient, you will receive it.
Okay. PS, this is yours. What is your ministry doing to curb the corruption that has become normal in local government, including service delivery?
Yeah, thank you very much. As I said, decentralization was to give the people of Uganda the chance to participate in issues that are affecting them. I wish to remind viewers that churches over the time have managed their issues. At least we have not had the high cry of that nature. I wish to also remind viewers that traditionally during our days and earlier days, schools were managed by PTA, Parents Teachers Associations, there was building committees, and things were going on normally. Now on that basis, decentralization was to empower the same people to participate also in a number of things, including recruitment. And the idea was that recruitment should happen at the same time. You don't have to wait. But now this issue of corruption has come in mainly because people did not have an opportunity to appreciate where they can report if people come and ask money from them. The systems were a bit far away, and I think they got a challenge of how to communicate. Because ordinarily we had said that the first and foremost people who should be put on the service commissions should be people of high moral character and proven integrity. We saw there would be that basis. But the question is, what have we done as the ministry now to make sure we curb corruption? First and foremost, we have given an instruction last year in September that every advert from every local government which goes out for job adverts should put a disclaimer with 4 major statements in that disclaimer. The first one would be that if the district does not sell jobs and no money should be paid for those jobs. The second part of the disclaimer was that to ask for money for recruitment is illegal. The third disclaimer was that once anybody has asked for money, it should be the people who have asked for money, the people should report. And we lined up people to report to. We mentioned IGG, we mentioned the State House Anti-Corruption, we mentioned the RDC's office, and we mentioned the Minister of Local Government. Now, the purpose is that now people will be aware that anybody who comes around, because those who come around may be staff, but also could be conmen and fraudsters. So this was to empower the people to first know that if a district has announced publicly in a newspaper, then there's no way somebody can come under the darkness behind the door and say, for us, we're asking for money. But also it was opening up the people that they should report. And when we get reports, we act. So I must tell the country that, for example, The long arm of the law the other day reached Rakai, and people were taken to court and prosecuted and actually imprisoned. The long arm of the law reached Mukono, and people were prosecuted and actually also put behind the bars, and the processes are going on. The long arm of the law reached Mpiji, and people were arrested and they were prosecuted. So this shows that in Chiriandongo, and this was cutting across. I must mention that from those now arrests which took place, we have found that the people involved are cross-cutting. Members of service commissions, elected leaders, where it has involved speakers, chairpersons, vice chairpersons, also the civil servants. So I want to give confidence to the viewers that with that instruction, report these issues and the system is ready to respond to any cry or any report about people who are going around asking for money for recruitment.
Yes, there was hope that since things are now digital, probably such cases will really be put at a standstill. But if they're really still happening, what needs to be done really? It is a serious issue.
Very quickly, already we have just jumped into the digital era in that area, and this year alone, there is an effort which is going to start with 20 local governments, but actually we are making an appeal that we shouldn't wait. We should have an additional support effort to support that program to make sure that it's not only 20, but it's other local governments. But I want to assure our viewers that the biggest problem was people were not bringing out information. And one of the reasons was fear that there will be reprisal from the wrong people, but also that no one would respond. Our assurance from the minister that with that instruction of that advert, and I have seen a number of them, I follow up and I've seen that they are putting that disclaimer. So our appeal to the viewers is that the moment anybody goes around asking for money, we just need this information, and the machinery is ready to jump on that appeal, on that report, and be able to cause punishment and make sure people...
Is there a number to reach for that? Would you be having it with you? Yes?
Of course, by mentioning the offices, the assumption was that the numbers are there. Okay. But I remember some time back, I was in Mbarara, I was on the radio with the IGG team, and I gave them my number, and I think in the next 1 week I got like very many calls, but I acted on all of them.
All right.
So I don't have a problem in announcing my number, through which I can give other numbers. So if it's your wish, my number is 0776 486262, and it can be you can call that number anytime, so that I can give other numbers which can help in this effort of fighting corruption.
Okay, prepare your parting shots, PS. I'll come back to you within a minute so that you wrap up. Honorable, this question as we wrap up, because questions are very many. Hello, I am from Busia. I would like to ask Honorable Galabuzi to educate me on how effectively communication is flowing within the project team and stakeholders, because somehow the different communities are having different perceptions about PDM, yet it will be a uniform message across all communities.
Okay.
As we wrap up, Honorable.
First of all, we have district information officers. Of late, we have encountered that problem that there are mixed messages that go down to the different local governments and the different parishes, which really disorganize the kind of message you want to give to the beneficiaries. But we are rectifying that using the district information officers. Now that everyone has a tab down there at the local governments, we are going to be disseminating information to the right people, because like we have said quite a number of times, and I've written circulars emphasizing this point to all the district local governments, that these tabs are going to help both in communication but also the digital processing of everything that is to do with PDM. So we are going to definitely improve that particular aspect of PDM. But also, I would also want to be very sincere with people. This program is not necessarily a government program, that it is a program that benefits government. No, or benefits President Museveni. It is a program that benefits Mwananchi. If I am living in, that gentleman must be a well-informed gentleman. If he's living down there in Busia, and he has some information, all he requires to get information. I don't think there is any person who wants to live in a community of poor people or people who are not prosperous. He should take it upon himself, be patriotic enough to actually get this information and disseminate it. We don't have one line, we don't have one size fit all. We can use all sorts of communication channels as long as the message is clear. We have disseminated these guidelines, we have disseminated implementation guidelines with pillar manuals to all local governments. They can go to the district information officers, get this information. The parish chiefs are our direct contacts at the parish. They are part of the PDM circle, they are part of the PDCs, they have the proper information. The PS here has organized so many workshops where we disseminate this information to the local governments through the CAOs, the focal persons. Recently I met focal persons in Ruzira, and the parish chiefs. We have all these channels that we can get this information through, and we do it. Okay. But for purposes of that gentleman, please be patriotic enough, get this information from the parish chiefs, the district information officers, and go and teach. Become an ambassador of prosperity. And I think that would help us a lot if every citizen becomes an ambassador and not only the president.
Thank you, Honorable. P.S., your closing remarks.
Thank you very much. My closing remarks are that, one, let everybody join the government to support the parish development model, because as I said, the Wananchi started by only electing. That's why was their participation. But now they were given powers to take decisions on matters affecting them. But now, importantly now, they are participating in the issue of water segregation. I wish to inform viewers that the Parish Development Committee at every parish, which helps in regulating and being our eye in what happens down there, is composed of the parish local council leadership at that level. And it cuts across, it involves the women, the youth, the elderly, the disabled, and of course the chairperson of the parish. Secondly, I want to call upon viewers that people should help us to report corruption, because corruption perseveres because of taking advantage of lack of communication to government agencies. So let people help us by only giving us information, and this information can come in any form, be it SMS, WhatsApp, any written literature information would help us to come in. I wish to inform you that we moved in, for example, the parish chief who took money from people in Fort Potro, and the court discontinued his prosecution. We ordered for interdiction after getting information, and I'm told that he has gone to court and court is returning, but I've instructed Kaurore district to make sure that they should use our instruction, and then we can deal with the matter later. So once we get information, the Minister of Local Government is determined to support the President of this country, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who has been talking about empowering the people. He's talking about fighting corruption. He's talking about prosperity for all, wealth segregation, socio-economic transformation, so that we can all join in and give our contributions to make sure that we are able to liberate our people economically and socially, so that we transform our country. So this is a call to everybody, including the leadership that I have mentioned about, but also the Wananchi who are viewing us, that we are here. Serving the people is not an option, is not a favor, but it is a duty, and we have been given that mandate to be able to serve the population of Uganda. So information first to us, the rest will be able to come in. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, Permanent Secretary from the Ministry of Local Government, Ben Kumumanya. Thank you so much, Honorable Dennis Galabuzi Ssozi, National Coordinator, Parish Development Model. We've come to the end of the show. That has been the front bench. Those who have been sending in your questions, thank you so much. And those who have been actually listening in on our 11 radio stations, thank you so much. For those who sent in questions and we didn't answer them, maybe next time, next Monday, we shall actually come back with a different program. But of course, you can keep checking on the different platforms for the Ministry of Local Government, and keep your issues to them. Maybe they will answer them at an appropriate time. From me, and the entire team, it's a good night. I am Jethro Kasaiji.
Oh, you guys.